Hey everyone, when we were looking at the global ed model, we decided to focus on our experience with the ECNU students because that's been a really integral part of this trip and in this program. And specifically when we analyzed the model, we thought that communication and collaboration were two parts of it that we've really learned a lot and have been able to put some things into practice on. So TJ and I are going to talk about communication.
Yeah, so first thing, we've got three things that we're going to say, but the first one was basically just learning to adapt to new forms of communication. We had to deal with the fact that due to censorship in China, we weren't really able to talk to these students in a way that we usually would. So we developed a strategy by downloading WeChat, and we made that our primary form of communication.
Definitely. And then another issue we ran into once we were all in that group is that the time zone differences were actually making it really difficult to have a good conversation. So because China is 12 hours ahead of the United States, we were running into issues where we would put something in there at 3 p.m. our time and wouldn't get a response for several hours because it was 3 a.m. their time and they were all asleep. And that really didn't allow us to have a fluid conversation and make a lot of progress. So what we did is we established kind of some ground rules with them and worked with them to essentially create a rule that we were going to communicate between the hours of 8 and 12, both the morning and at night. And that was a really effective way for us to streamline communication and get a lot more done in that time period.
Yeah, it was really able to keep us all connected. And then the third thing, we learned that we really had to develop a resilience and overcome the idea of not being able to talk to them face to face or really through video. We were only really able to talk through text, and really just learning that you have to be super explicit with exactly what you want to say. That there can't be really any open ambiguities. You have to really give them exactly what you want to say, because you're not able to pick up on their bodily reactions, you're not able to pick up on their facial expressions. So it's really important that you're really clean cut on what you say, and also that you think about what you're going to send in a message before you do.
Now Eric and I are going to talk about collaboration.
Yes, so most Chinese have a distrust default, so it was really important for us to get to know our partners before we begin brainstorming and talking to them about the project. So for instance, my partner and I communicated a lot via WeChat. We talked about our families, our activities, schools, classmates, and established that trust and had that general conversation before we begin. In that conversation, there was a lot of communication barriers. So for instance, my Chinese partner sometimes had to ask me a lot of questions to make sure that he understood the Americanized phrases I was saying and fully understand UNC and what I was trying to communicate to him.
And as far as our actual strategy for collaboration, given the difficulties in communication that Eric and TJ discussed, we decided a group brainstorm would be the best way to attack the issue. So basically everyone contributed their thoughts on different examples of entertainment that they kind of enjoyed. And after everyone had a chance to share their thoughts, we had one or two folks from each team come in and try to synthesize what everyone had said.
So Alex and I are just going to recap a little bit of our interactions with the ECNU students. So first, kind of with the presentation, some things that we discovered with our communication is we really had to be resilient, because going into it, we had one version of the presentation, and then when we got there and kind of met them, we learned that there were some last-minute changes that we didn't get the chance to see. So then when our folks went up to help present, there was some information on the slide that they hadn't seen before. So that was just one kind of takeaway that we had from that.
Also, to comment on our intercultural interactions, when we first got there, everyone was pretty stiff and there wasn't that much conversation going on, but we noticed that as the day progressed, they walked us around, we got to know them a lot more. They took us to get bubble tea, which is nice. We exchanged Facebook, Instagram, and so we're all planning on staying in contact with them, and we all had a very, very positive experience, and hopefully we'll do something similar again.